It's been a hot minute since I've been in here, and I'm excited to be back and just wanted to come live and kind of talk a little update about what's been going on because I feel like I've been super, super quiet and there's just it's just so much. I have not been feeling well, but wanted to still jump on and say hi and do a really quick live for you today. I was at a leadership training. Um, when was I there? March 17th to the 26th, so for 9 days. And it was like 7 full days of training, and it was exhausting, but it was really, really good too. I got a lot out of it in terms of what is stopping me. And, because that was really what I was hoping on understanding, a lot of my limited beliefs. Why do I self-sabotage? Why am I, only going so far and stop, or go so far and hide, or don't start, or say I'm going to start things, or um, just like how I show up, which is really interesting. Hey, Shanna, how are you? Um, and one of the things that came up for me was I wait. I wait for a lot of people. I wait for a lot of other people. Sometimes, you know, uh, so what happens is like you form these beliefs of yourself or in your life between 0 to 8. And if you've lived, a typical no real trauma in your childhood, you still have traumatic events happen that shape how you think and shape how patterns that you create in your life through your subconscious mind. And if you had a traumatic event, which I did when I think I was about 7 or 8, and when you have a traumatic event, then like it amplifies it as well. So it was really interesting going to this training and understanding how I was, after that event, I was waiting for my parents to save me, and how that has been playing out in my life. And I got into a marriage, and I was waiting for someone to save me from my marriage, and all of this waiting, waiting, waiting. And I did a live on my Facebook on Friday about the conference I'm planning for the fall, and about the whiteboard wall that I painted in my closet. If you haven't seen it on my personal page, it's fun. Go check it out. But the point about that was I was waiting again. I was waiting for Corey to, that's my partner. I was waiting for him to give me permission to paint the wall of my, I don't know what I was waiting for, but I was just waiting. I bought the paint. I had everything I needed. And I'm super capable. I've done painting before. And I'm like, wow, isn't that funny how this pattern just keeps repeating itself? And it's really up to me to show up and break that pattern. So I would just, really to start about getting out of your own way. So the first thing, and that's funny because I got a question when I put, hey, I'm going live tonight, that post up, someone's like, how do you know? How do you know if you're in your own way? I'm like, that's such a great question. So it's a really good place to start. And I knew I was in my way because I wasn't taking action. I wasn't doing something. How else can I say it? I knew I was standing in my own way because I have goals in my life, and I'm not like doing anything about them. I'm going, gosh, I really want to paint my closet. I really want to have a conference. Oh, wouldn't it be nice to, you know, run a coaching program? Wouldn't it be great to go to the leadership training, and then not follow through with them? Or wouldn't it be great to you go to the gym 4 days a week? And then I'm not doing it. And really, the reason I'm not doing it, I'm in my own way. And I have to create strategies to get out of my own way. So if you have goals, if you have things you want to be doing, and you're not doing them, not accomplishing them, you're in your own way. That's how you know. Hey, Renee. I was so happy to hear from you the other night. I hope the telethon went really well. Hey, Val. I have to get back to you too. This is always so good. I love when people come on. I'm like, I need to message people. But I love it. It's beautiful. So I'm going to jump right in. So a couple things. I wrote some notes. I like to have like bullet points. I don't know if this is what you do, but this is what I like to do is put a bullet points down and then just refer to the bullet points, make sure that keeps me as much on track as I can possibly get. If you've never done a Facebook Live before, I would challenge you to give it a try and don't script out the whole thing. Just put a couple points you want to cover, no more than 3. And I have 4, but usually no more than 3, and really just use those to talk and just relax. You can do it. So you know your own way. So you're capable. And so one thing I want to start when you're starting about like, okay, how can I get out of my own way? Just remind yourself how capable you are. You can approach everything in your life with a mindset of, I'll figure this out. And even if you're like, gosh, I don't know if I can figure it out, what I would challenge to say is look at in the past and look at everything you figured out up until this point. There was tons of things you didn't know. You know, you started a new job at some point, you had to learn it. You had to figure that out. You had to figure out how to raise children if you have them, or, you know, live with somebody else, or you had to figure out how to cook, like how to figure out how to start out a workout program, starting your own business. There's so many examples in your life in the past that you've figured out up until now. So just remind yourself, hey, I've figured things out. I can have a mindset of I'll figure things out, and I'm very capable. So just continue. I have a tickle in my throat. Just remind yourself of those things. That's why I'm putting a whiteboard in my closet, because I need to remind myself of those things too. In fact, I would say, like, you can't see it, but I have a little board up here, and like up on the top is like the first post-it I have is I will figure it out. It's powerful because it doesn't make you like, I can't, I don't know, really limiting beliefs, real disempowering beliefs. Instead, I'm like, I will figure this out. So start there. So now step 1 is really reminding yourself you're capable, and reminding yourself you're going to figure it out. So the next step, Deb, if you're still on, really great timing. So you're going to declare what it is that you want. And there's power in the verbal word. There's power in our language. So that's a live for another day, but truly watch your mouth and watch what the words you're using and watch what you're saying. So, you know, it's like, oh, I wish or want, like, I am, use present tense. I have, I get to, and declare what it is that you want. And, you know, I like to say things out loud. I'm very verbal. It's good, but I like to write things. I like visual reminders. And like I have Deb does vision boards, my friend Kat does vision boards, and it's like you can do visual reminders, like not written words, but like a beautiful visual reminder as well. So, you know, declaring what it is. And I would say too, and this is one thing I definitely learned this past week, is I narrow it down, because we all have lots of things, but we really need to create focus. You guys know how I am about focus. So like, how can you create, you know, ideally one thing, but like 1 to 3 things in general that you want to be? How do you want to be? How do you want to, and goals that you have. So one or the other, but just really getting clear on that one thing. And if sometimes it helps, I have a friend who will be like brainstorming almost. So it's like really like, what am I craving? What do I want? What do I desire? And like just brain dumping it all out until you can boil that down to getting underneath of it. And when in doubt, you know, I'm trying to think of how to say this properly, but, you know, keep saying to yourself, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? Like, keep asking and keep going with that, you know, and it will really help pull it out, because it'll be surface level, and then you're going to get underneath and get some of the meatier stuff. And then once you've declared what it is that you want, what you desire, what you're craving, what you want to manifest, declare it. So you're saying it out loud, visual reminders, do a vision board workshop. They're amazing. And so now we have an anchoring point. So you're like, okay, so how do I get out of my own way? So I hope you're all sitting down for this step, because you're just not going to be surprised, is taking committed action. I think for me, the one key that when I turned this key, all the tumblers fell into place for my life and for my business. And I used to get annoyed, very honestly, with this. I'm like, we have to take action. I'm like, I don't want to take action. But that is it, period. If you do nothing, if you never follow anything else I ever say or anyone else ever says again, take action. Start. Stop overthinking it, because we're going to overthink things. We have to get out of our heads and into our mind, into our hearts and our bodies, and start taking committed action. So I could say, I really want to be true to my word. Maybe that's something I really want in my life. I want to be in full integrity. This is coming up for a lot for me lately, going, am I in integrity? And not that I'm like a cheating person, but am I doing what I say I'm going to do? And what I mean by that, so that this is coming up for me, and it's like, I could say lots of things, but if I'm not doing them, then I'm out of integrity. And maybe they seem harmless, but a lot of those harmless things adds up. So for me personally, I'm a committed woman. That's one way of being that I'm committed to doing, is being, I am a committed woman, which means I do what I say I'm going to do. So what does that look like? So committed action means two things in this example. One, I don't say things I'm not committed to anymore, because I would just say yes. I would say, okay, sure. And I would try to make everything work, because that's the pleaser in me. And also because I love doing things and I like hanging out with people. I like to meet up. I like to go for coffee. I like to do all of these things. But it's more about getting, not just responding, not just auto responding and going, okay, I got to look at my schedule. You know, I'd love to meet up. Deb, you just popped up. Deb, I want to meet up with you for coffee. True statement. But let me look at my schedule and be like, what actually makes sense for me? So when I say to Deb, hey, let's meet for coffee, let's grab lunch, let's do this, I can say it, and then I know I'm going to follow through because I have a plan. So that feels committed to me. That feels like me just going, yeah, Deb, let's grab coffee on Tuesday. And then Tuesday comes, I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this because I've got all these other things going on. Or I say this Tuesday thing, and once I've said it, then I got to figure out, back to the everything's figure outable. Let's say I have a million things going on, and I committed to Deb, and I'm committed to myself first and foremost, to staying in my own integrity. So if we had plans, it's like I'm figuring out how to make this happen. I get to figure this out, and instead of I have to. That's one change. I always thought I was super aware of my language, and that was one shift that I've made over the past. You know, when I was on my leadership retreat, I say have to a lot. And instead, I get to change that language to be like, I get to. Because have to feels like crap. Oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. So I don't have to have coffee with Deb. I get to have coffee with Deb. And when I can just shift little words, they're so powerful. So my point, really committed action, you guys. So thinking about, and I talk about this when I talk my clients through things, because we do a lot of focus work. And we're like, okay, big vision. And then this is usually me on the Zoom. Okay, let's refocus on a big vision, because we sit down and we go, this is your big vision. We get super clear on that, so we know. So everything that comes up gets put against that filter. Is it aligned with that filter? Yes or no? And if it's not, then we really have to decide if this is a good decision or not. Because this is my vision, and what committed action am I taking? So what does this have to do with getting out of your own way? The second you start taking action, so Deb says, Yes, for me, it's keeping promises to myself, even little ones, habits of action every day. Yes. So, and I would be curious if you're still on and listening. So those action habits start to create flow. I know that's your word, flow and momentum. And it's like the second that committed action starts happening, the universe responds. In my experience, the universe starts to respond, and then all of a sudden, things line up for you. It's like it starts to become magic, right? So I'm just going to continue this example about coffee. Yeah, friendships are first, not second. Exactly. Made those get agreed. So Deb's saying she's making those get-togethers a priority. So if we're meeting for coffee, so then I'm like, okay, I get to meet Deb for coffee. I really have a lot going on, and I get to figure out how to make this happen. And then what ends up happening is things will start to line up. So I could be driving to go meet her, and like I'm hitting all the green lights. This happens to me, you guys. I don't know if you notice this, but this is when literally things are getting out of my way because I've gotten out of my own way because I'm taking committed action. Another thing I'll notice is when I start to take committed action, my schedule, I plan my schedule pretty carefully, but things will start to shift. So I'll get a message from a client, a day or two in advance, and be like, can we reschedule this appointment to the day after? And I'm like, sure, of course we can, because all of a sudden things are just flowing out really well, and the universe just starts responding. And I start to feel lighter, and I start to notice things. So flow's happening. So I'll come back to the beginning. So we know we're not in committed. We know we're in our own way when we're not reaching our goals. We remind ourselves we're capable and we can figure things out. We declare what it is we truly, truly want. We give ourselves permission to want the things that we want. That took me a few years to get to that point. And then we start taking committed action towards those desires. And this is where the rubber meets the road, and the universe starts to respond. And we start to get into flow, and we start to create momentum in our life, in our business, with our health, whatever our declaration or goal was. And then what happens is our bodies, or our subconscious mind. So when I talked about that 0 to 8 pattern, it starts to go, oh my gosh, she's changing. Things are happening. I need to create some chaos in her life. And then shit hits the fan, and I get sick. I throw out my hip. So I was just come out of leadership training. This is not even a joke. I come out of leadership training, digging up emotional wounds in a good way. Like, don't get me wrong, this is magical. Getting under my belief system, realizing who I am. Like, I am a loving, committed, trusting woman. And all week long, the reflection I was getting from people was that I was really powerful leader. And coming out of there, then what happens is I lose my voice. It's like, it's a little sexy, I'm not gonna lie. Raspy. I throw out my hip, and I want to sleep for a week. This is like, my body is, I feel exhausted like I've never felt before. And so this is just my body going, oh gosh, you're changing too much. Let's get her back under control. She can't be too big. She can't be too powerful. She can't be this loving and committed. She can't be this trusting. She can't make all these changes at once, right? And this is just our subconscious mind effing with us because there's no other word for it. So when that happens, and I'm not going to lie, this is me today. I was not feeling good today. My voice, my throat, and I was in like a mini pity party today, you guys. And I really always want to be super transparent with you because this happens to me too. And what I get to do is go, okay, here it is. Here's me getting in my own way today. And I was sick. I didn't go to work today. And I made decision was another word that keeps coming up. I committed to showing up differently in my life. So I got to experience the blahs today and be like, okay, I know I don't want to feel this way, but I'm just going to allow for a little bit today. And there's nothing wrong with the allowing, but it's recognizing in it that I'm allowing it too. I can see it so clearly. And then I get to refocus. So So when I talked, remember what was our declaration? So that's why it's so important to have that visual reminder, to have the word, to have your beautiful vision boards, to say it out loud to people and be like, what are you creating? What do you want to declare in your life? What do you want to create in your life? So when I say I am a loving, committed, trusting woman, and when I say trusting, self-trust here, sister. It's my self-trust first, right? I have to trust myself, which means trust means when people tell me I'm a powerful leader, I have to trust myself and trust them to receive that feedback, because it's kind of hard to hear sometimes. So I get to refocus now. So refocus. Okay, I was committed to a call with a friend. And we actually just rescheduled it, which is perfect. I'm committing to getting back to my VA. I'm committing to coming on live, because you know how many times I wanted to cancel this and go, oh, I'm in no position to talk to anybody today. I'm not, Brene Brown will say, like, I'm not fit for human consumption. But this is part of me being committed. I am a committed woman, which means I'm in integrity. I said I'm coming on, I'm coming on. And I get to talk about what I'm really interested in right now. And I get to talk about my experiences with you. And no, this will help you go, I'm not, me and you both thinking, I'm not alone. I'm not alone in this. I'm not the only one who goes through these crappy times, like these lows. And when I am, I allow it, but then I go, okay. I remember my very first therapist, you've probably heard me say this, but she would say, sit in the water, sit in it. And, when your fingers start to get pruny, it's time to come out of it. So my fingers are feeling pruny, and I wanted to come on and share, because I also, as a committed person, I'm committed to your growth as well in this community. I love this community. It fills my cup up like nothing I've ever experienced. And I'm coming in with a new perspective after my leadership, going like, I am here to take a stand for you and your declaration and your vision, however that looks, however I can possibly do that, because sometimes we need someone else to take a stand for us to help push us forward. And I want to be able to give that gift that others have given me, and they've taken a stand for me and my growth and my business and my development and my life, and I want to be able to return the favor. So if this helps in any way, then it makes me super happy. And if there's more support you need or want in any area, let me know, and I would love to just connect and we can figure out what you can declare, what your vision is, and how you can create action, committed action to really make this happen, and you'll get out of your own way. Yeah. So that was a bit of a yeah. So Deb, things are attracted to you and flow happens. It's true. When we really start taking committed action, it is flow. My voice is sexy. Thank you. Shanna, this sounds familiar, right? Yeah. Thank you. Vulnerability is so important to me, Deb. Thank you. And you have thank you. I've helped you find your courage in your voice. And I will say it's so easy to, sometimes we can see it so easily in others, and it's not, we can see it in ourselves, but I would also challenge to say anytime there's a quality in someone else you admire, it's in you. That's why you see it in them. So if my vulnerability is beautifully strong, that's because yours is too. So, all right. I don't want to keep going on too long. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and I'd love to. I could answer them. I'd be helping you out. Was this helpful? I meant to ask that halfway. Yeah, 24 minutes in. What'd you think? Is this, good? This land? I hope so. And I don't want this to sound, I want this to be tangible steps for you to take. I don't want it to be all woo-woo, stuff. This is like actual things you can take away. So I'll just do a really quick recap. Then I will leave it here. Darlene, hi. Oh, good. I'm glad. You're so welcome. So getting out of your own way. You're on your own way when you're not reaching the goals you set for yourself. That's how you know. That's how you know, because you're like, gosh, I never finish anything I start. I always want to do stuff and I never get started. whatever the case may be. So that's the first step. Remind yourself you're capable and you can figure things out. How do you do that? You look in your past for examples, and there's millions of them. And if you can't find one, send me a message and I will help you find a billion. Okay, maybe like not a billion, but plenty of them, because there's lots. You just have to remind yourself of that. Declare what it is that you want verbally, but write it down somewhere. And whether it's a sentence or two, somewhere visible, do a vision board, get super clear on what you want or how you want to be and what that vision for your life looks like. Start to take committed action. So everything that's part of that, you start to take action. Committed, you're in integrity, you do what you say you're going to do, you're going to take action towards that vision. And lastly, rinse and repeat, refocus, because what will happen is your mind and body are going to start to play tricks and they're going to derail you, and you just got to be resilient, because you're resilient, and get back on track. So Shanna, my experience is the injury is a way to slow me down. The universe wants me to slow down and refocus, so it forces a break. Shanna, that's what happened to my hip. And it's funny, my girlfriend, this happened to her foot. We were on a retreat and she hurt her foot, so she had to slow down. She had to receive help. And I think that was part of my gift of injuring myself too, is I had to absolutely surrender and receive help from people. And at first it was awful. So, and I had to just say, they want to help me, and I had to let them help. And in fact, my roommate, she's like, let me help you. You're insulting me by not letting me help you. And I'm like, oh, she's right. Because I would feel insulted too. So yeah, the universe absolutely is like, slow down, refocus, all that jazz. Okay, I'm leaving it here because this has gone on way longer than I usually like to go. But I want to catch up. It's been a while. I hope this helps. Comment below if you have any questions. Send me a message. If there's anything I can help you take a stand for you, your business, your health, anything, just message me, please. It's absolutely my mission to help this year. So, I mean, it always is, but especially I'm recommitted to that goal after coming back. Unattached, absolutely unattached too. Okay, happy Tuesday. And I'll have some announcements coming up for the conference. I finally have a location. I know we've had some contract stuff happen, so that's getting taken care of. The date's finalized. So much goodness is happening. So stay tuned, and I love you all, and I can't wait to see what happens over the next couple of weeks. Let me know if you start manifesting stuff. I'm very excited for you. Okay, bye.